Since his transplant, he's taken up social league bowling, firstly because he's always liked it, secondly because it's good exercise, and thirdly it's one of the sports at the transplant games in Sweden in 2011. Go Sweden! Otherwise, he enjoys computers, dance music, collecting export gold merchandise, yes, the beer, and taking his car around Taupo and Manfield. On reflection, he decided, from running out of time in dire straits to a surreal life with all the time in the world, said it very appropriately. John.
Well, it was 5 months and 4 days ago that the family of a 15-year-old European male decided to offer their son, I guess, their son's organs for donation, and the following day they were transplanted into me. And so I'm going to go back and just basically talk about how I got there, and obviously what happened and what life's like now. And yeah. And just in case you're wondering, yes, that was me in the magazine just a few weeks ago. And yes, I do sometimes get mistaken for the former Cuban dictator Fernando Castro. So I say Fidel Castro. But anyway, where's my little thingy? This must be it. There we go. So, that was me, obviously, as a baby and mum. So I was born April the 12th, 1982, 9:35 in the morning on a Monday. So, you know, beginning of business. And I've always been a, fairly punctual clock watcher and whatnot ever since. Apparently, I was... could be timed for toilet training and that sort of thing. So, Mum quickly got me toilet trained, and I was even dry at night at 2.5 apparently. So that was quite cool. And for the most part, I was, relatively fine and whatnot until I came off the breast, and after just under a year or so, and that's when, of course, things started, going a little pear-shaped. Whoops, wrong way. So just another baby photo there. Of course, I hadn't been diagnosed with CF at this point because, unfortunately, the heel prick, which all babies get now, the year before I was born was funded by the association, and the year after I was born started becoming funded by the government. And, of course, I just happened to fit into that grey area in the middle, didn't I? So the next 4.5 years of my life, I guess you could say, until I was diagnosed at 5.5, I pretty much didn't grow, didn't put on any weight at all, and generally was on, repeat cold, flu, infection, on antibiotics 6 out of 7 weeks. Mum tried all sorts of different diets, went to, spent all their savings going to different specialists and whatnot to try and figure out what it was, because I had no real signs of CF at the time. And ultimately, after a lot of pushing and a lot of toing and froing, it was the first signs of clubbing that actually seemed to be the one that did it. And so I went for the sweat test, and, well, sure enough, I had CF. So, just another one. Okay, I've covered that. So, just what I looked like at kindy at about 4 years old. I've just put numbers in the top corner so you can see roughly what age I am, and so that I can remember as well. So this is me at about 5 or 6. This is, obviously not long after I'd been diagnosed, but I'd also had a homeopathic cleanse at the time to help relieve a lot of the stuff that I was going through. And oddly enough, after I had that, all the shadows that were on my x-rays just were kind of gone. And of course those shadows are what we now think of as, of course, gunk, mucus and whatnot. So having had that, I no longer had any gunk in my lungs at all, which was quite remarkable. And I had, relatively good health, sort of for a little while after that. Did ordinary kid stuff. This is me at 6 years old, having a good old McDonald's birthday party with, that's Nana and Pa and a few schoolmates and whatnot. But yeah, and then over the next few years, I, because of course I'd been diagnosed and I was on the enzymes and whatnot. Finally, I gained a lot of weight and ended up quite chubby and big. And at 12 years old, I was even playing rugby for Kaponga, and of all positions, I was a prop forward because that's how big I was. And that's me at 15. Where are we? Obviously starting to slim down a little bit at this point. Starting to get a little bit across here, of course, as you do. And then this is me at 18, and that's my youngest brother Luke, who was, about 2 at the time, I guess. This was just after I'd started at Massey, and I was doing quite well and whatnot. I was biking over 100 k's a week at this point, just going back and forth to lectures. So the health was really good, and I mean even at one point there, I actually didn't have to take any digestive enzymes at all for about 4 or 5 months, I think, and I still managed to actually gain weight. And I got to I think 75 kgs, which was the highest weight I've ever gotten to without the aid of steroids, because we all know how that likes to put on weight, just like now. And of course there was, at that time, there were the good old WINS issues that, we all love to hate. But I went over them with a fine-tooth comb, thankfully, to get student services and whatnot sorted out. So thankfully I have a lot of info on that in my head now, and know exactly how to deal with them, especially with being on the invalid's benefit and now, and needing the odd bit of money to actually be able to continue studying and now and that. Thankfully they have some good stuff set up for actually being able to get a lot of things just paid for outright. It's just a matter of getting all the paperwork done, of course, which is a real hassle, especially when you don't have a lot of energy and, frankly, you'd just rather be doing other things. But, never mind, it's one of those things. So, this is 19. What was I doing here? Yeah, that would be my second year at uni, I guess. I think I was, flatting in Palmerston North at the time. It's just another birthday. And then there's 22. Obviously not looking quite as flash there, as you can see. A little bit pale on it. But, never mind. The health had certainly been knocked around quite a bit the last couple of years before that. And, I got my first Pseudomonas at about 20 or 21, so that certainly started knocking me around, as most of us know Pseudomonas does. And just going backtracking a little bit, this is me at about 14 or 15 when I was on correspondence.